ladder of leadership. Who here on this training wants to be a leader?
I do.
Okay, got one.
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Okay. So we got several people in the chat that want to be a leader or that already are leaders. They want to get to the next level of leadership. That's awesome. That's great. I want you to imagine for a moment, imagine the building of your dreams. And your goal is to get to the top of the building. Now, here's the problem. Please understand that that leadership is not an elevator ride up to the top of the building. You can't take an elevator. You can't even take the stairs. You actually got to go outside, stand that ladder up across the success of the building that you're envisioning, and you actually got to take that ladder up step by step. You see, it's different if you was in the elevator, you just press a button. It's different if you could just open the door and get to the stairs and say, all right, I got to go up the stairs. Okay, now I'm gonna just be complacent for a while, stay here for a while. I got tired. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. But when you on a ladder, it take a lot more skills. It take a lot of more mindset because you got to juggle. You got to maintain your balance, all kind of stuff. So when we say we want to be a leader and that we're going to do whatever it takes to get the job done, we asking for trouble. Yeah, we get paid more money, but I need you guys to realize that the more we move up is the more responsibilities we have. So as agents, the agent not going to make as much money as, let's say, a senior field trainer. A senior field trainer not going to make as much money as, let's say, a RSD. RSD ain't going to make as much money as, let's just say, a VP. So vice president, let's talk about that. Many people want to go vice president. They want to get there fast. And yeah, the money is great. But that's not what you want. The question is, we have to ask ourselves, are we ready? Do we have endurance? Do we have the balance? Bruce actually talks about this sometimes with me. He smirks about it. He kind of laughs. He's like, so many people say they want to be a VP. So many people actually hit the VP title fast, but he sees what's happening up there. You see, they get up that elevator real fast, but the problem is they couldn't handle it. And they went up on the ladder or the elevator, and then the ladder toppled over. See, they're not really VP, they're just VP in title, not in reality, because they probably wasn't ready for the responsibility. So what happened? They actually dropped back down and lost their title. That it happens to all of us. It happened to me. So sometimes the person ends up going missing or they quit. Something happens. So I want you guys to realize that on the way up the ladder of leadership, there's going to be pressures. There's going to be problems. I've helped so many people. I've helped people go sales director, regional, senior field trainers, and they throw in the towel. Why? I thought that was the goal. Well, here's the news flash. When you get those titles, you ain't just supposed to just get it and say, okay, now I'm there. No, you're actually getting paid more for dealing with more pressure, more problems, more conflicts. I'm going to speak in the famous words of Uncle Ben from Spider-Man. He says, and I quote, with great power comes great responsibility. You got to be responsible for the title that you attain. So the more that's placed in our lives, the more people that's placed in our organization is going to be the better we have to learn how to manage it and handle it. Now, here's the thing. We're all already on this ladder of leadership in our lives somewhere or another. in some area of our life, we're already leading something, maybe a family or children or just maybe ourselves. So if a person is at their current level that they're right now and they're saying, man, I just can't take it, it's too hard, it's too difficult, what they're basically saying is they don't want to go any higher on the ladder, and they're rejecting the leadership. Because again, remember, leadership means more challenges. So the higher we go up the ladder, we got to be able to work better with our nerves. In fact, the challenges that we're currently dealing with in our lives right now, in our business right now, that's actually the current training that you're in for the next level of whatever, of leadership. If you ever played a video game, sometimes they got cheat codes for you to skip levels, right? But what tends to happen is you can skip all the levels you want. When you start trying to play that level, are you ready for that level? Sometimes when you play the video game, you got to realize that the problems that you're dealing with in a particular level, no matter how frustrating, you start realizing that if you never figure out how to solve that problem, you would have been never prepared for the next level. And that's just how leadership works. So if we're truly on the path of leadership, then what we got to do is, as soon as we can say, okay, got it, wow, I think I got this level, I got it figured out, I'm comfortable being a field trainer, I got sales director down, oh, ESD is in my pocket. And that's when we then, guess what, right after that, you got to take another step on the ladder. And we got to put ourselves right back in an uncomfortable situation. Are you guys ready for that? You say you want to be a leader. Are you ready to continually be in an uncomfortable predicament? It never stops unless the person stops. It doesn't quit unless the person say they quit. And that's the thing. Most people in life, they're professional quitters. Um, that's the funny thing about life. You know, people complain about their conflicts, and remember, once a person complains, they're stuck right there. They're going to keep going in a circle. They're going to keep dealing with the same stuff again and again, over and over, year after year, maybe even decade after decade, with the same struggle and the same emotional issues, just because they've been complaining. So 5 years could pass, 10 years can pass. And 10 years ago, they started dealing with the issue. They still dealing with it now. They still on the same step of the ladder. They still on the same level of the video game. And guess what? The funny thing about it is, while that's taking place, you might be looking at that person's life externally, and a person could be jealous of what that person built. And you don't even realize that they're still dealing with old thinking, disempowering self-images of themselves. I want to read something real quick. Have you ever heard someone on social welfare who wins $1 million in the lotto? What often happens a few years later? The person is broke. That person has a self-image of social welfare recipient. That person consistently made decisions to spend the money unwisely. Jewelry, cars, concert tickets, expensive meals, stereo, vacation trips, designer clothes, horse racing, so that he would return back to social welfare where he felt comfortable. If this person had a self-image of rich, successful investor, he would have decided to invest in stocks, create real estate, or other assets. Have you ever heard of someone who was a millionaire but lost his fortune? What often happens a few years later? That person's a millionaire again. The person had a self-image of being a millionaire. That person consistently made decisions to spend his new earnings wisely so that he would again reach his millionaire status. So people are dealing with self-images and levels of the ladder that they're comfortable with being on. And then we have to move, the goal is to move forward. Team six, we can't let our challenges take us out. We got to learn how to manage the stress levels. And we got to get to the next level, and the next level, and the next level. And then guess what? Something very interesting starts to happen. Doors start swinging open. We start getting new opportunities. You see, we can get to a point where we can encounter a problem, but then we'll bounce back fast. We bounce back quicker than we did last time. We make sure next time we go right instead of going left. Because why? We've dealt with the situation. We learned how to deal with it in one way or the other. And no matter what, we're gonna always feel the pressures. We're always gonna feel the stress, but we gotta just keep moving forward. And if we're taking the next step on the ladder, and as we're going up, you're very careful. Guess what? That's when you're gonna start achieving next milestones in your lives and achieve higher levels of success. Because listen, we can't focus on the external lifestyle, what other people are doing, the statuses, the recognition. People could have that built up and you don't know what they're going through behind the scenes. So instead, what we should most focus on is advancement, completing tasks, meeting deadlines, hitting milestones, breaking records, setting and achieving goals. When we focus on these things, that's when you're going to realize that the ladder of leadership is step by step. You go through these things piece by piece, moment by moment, and each time you achieve a certain milestone, you get to the next level. And then you feel really good about it because you're going to be stable and certain in your belief. Now, here's the most important thing that I need you to understand. The pressure that we are dealing with when it comes to leadership isn't even external. It's internal. It's happening in the mind. Because I want you to take the analogy of the ladder. When we're taking steps on a ladder and you got that ladder propped up against the building of your vision, of your dreams, as you go up each step, it gets scary. It gets more nerve-wracking, right? Now, the interesting thing is that each step you go up, you start seeing new opportunities. You're at the higher level. You're able now to be more, do more, achieve more. But here's the problem. Every time you go up, your external reality is improving. You're achieving the goal, but then what's happening to the mindset at the same time? The mindset might not be prepared for that level. You might want to be on the balcony, but you're afraid of heights. So now that's affecting your reality. You see, we can get the team that we want. We can get the title that we dreamed about. We can get any opportunity that we've been waiting for. But the problem is that everything could develop faster than our own self-image, our own self-perception. I want to read something else to you. Is this it? Okay. So let's take a brief look at self-image. We have ourselves And how, okay, let's start here. If we see ourselves as total losers, do you think your reality will sense that in your voice and actions? Do you think, um, okay, have you ever met someone with poor self image? Even if they give the perfect presentation, their self image will add this to the end of their presentation. And you are probably not interested. Okay, that's not the page I want to read, but don't worry about it. The point is that how you see things, how you visualize your reality might not be ready for the level that you externally reach. When we get up to the next step of the ladder to complete the mission, but now we're nervous about the higher level we're at because now you got all these external situations happening. The wind's blowing, you got to worry about balance that's required. So now the question is, what can we do to prepare us for the next transition? What can we do to prepare us every time we're walking up the ladder? We make sure we feel secure, stable, strong. What can we do about that? It's very simple. Personal development. Personal development. That's how you do it. And there's an old saying, leaders are readers. So what you must realize is that that's what's going to make you stable on your path to success on this ladder of leadership. Each step you go up, you have to continue to read. You have to invest in yourself. You have to personal develop. I shouldn't have to tell you, nobody should have to tell you that you should take time out of your day to read, to develop, to learn more, to study. This is what it's going to take because I'm telling you, you want to make sure you do this now before you wait until you achieved some level of success. And the next thing you know, you're dealing with issues and then you don't know how to handle them effectively in a stable way. You want to make sure you constantly keep improving and pouring into yourself. This is why it's so important to develop in stages, not so fast. Because every time we move forward, we got to be checking our balance. We got to check our stability and we got to get used to the new level, the new devil, the new criticism, the new challenges that we're at that point. And again, how do we do that? Personal development. Read. You have to study. Listen to Jim Rohn. You have to pour into yourself. Nobody should be telling you to do this. This is one of the things that you should be investing in. If we are a team, we the Navy SEALs Team SEAL 6, right? So we enter to the battlefield and we here together. There are certain things that you must already possess. You must already know. You must already be. Let's do it now. This is important. Let me do it now. So look, I got 10 things that you must invest in. We're going to use the word sacrifice because every word I have on this paper starts with an S. So you got to sacrifice for these things. And so I want you to envision a video game. There's a character. The character is you. And you got different power levels. So you got speed. Let's say it's a 5. Agility. Let's say it's a 7. Strength. Let's say you got a 9. Power. Whatever. 3, 4. Right? Everything. You got different levels. And this is a video game, right? So in the video game, you got 2 modes. You got story mode, and then you got survival mode, right? The survival mode is more like you're just playing, you're just seeing what level you're at and how far you can go to survive. But then story mode is where you got to go back, go through all the trials and tribulations, all the ups and downs, all the ins and outs, and build armor, build protection, build new levels for yourself, build strength for yourself, build up these different areas. So I'm going to go over 10 areas that you must be personally working on in your own life before you even show up to FES, before you even show up in life, you got to make sure you understand your stats. These are the stats. Ready? The first one, self-motivation. Like, do you expect somebody else to motivate you every day, every week, every month? Do you need external motivation? Or are you going to sacrifice and invest into your own self to motivate yourself? How will you do it? Do you have affirmations? Do you read books? Do you listen to Jim Rohn? If you're going through a downtime, if we're the Navy team, Navy SEAL 6 team, we expect that when you show up to the battlefield, you got yourself together. Your mind is ready to go. You're not holding anybody else back. You're not the weakest link. Are you self-motivated? Now, you're going to be at a certain level of it. Let's say a person's at a 4. What are you going to sacrifice to get to level 5? Are you going to sacrifice, or are you going to give a sob story? Are you going to give an excuse to say, well, this is why I can't self-motivate right now because I'm so busy, I'm working, and then this happened, and this person passed in my life, and this I got to do. Hey, we Team SEAL 6. We got to dominate and take over. We got work to do. So are you going to step up and make sure you prepare yourself before it's time for the battle? Or are you going to come up with the sob story, the excuses? Are you going to be a soldier, or what you doing? Okay, number 2, save money. That's another stat. How well are you with saving money? Are you a level 2, a level 4? Your prospects, they're coming to you telling you they don't got $188 to fix their credit. What is that telling you? Your agent prospects are coming at you telling you they don't got 288 to get started as an agent. What does that mean? That means their stats in the money saving department is low. I talked about this yesterday. If a person is 30 years old, let's say they 28. From 18 to 28, that's 10 years. You're telling me that they couldn't save up $100 a year for 10 years? That'll be $1,000. You don't even have $1,000 in your bank account. Your stats are low in the Department of Saving Money. Let's say, but they only need $288 to start. Well, they can save up $30 a year. Their stats are low in the Department of Saving Money. What does that tell you about that person? When the Navy team gets together to go out and execute the missions, that person's going to be lacking in that department. When it's time to put up an advertisement, when it's time to do an event, when it's time to attend the training or a lecture, it's time to do certain things, when it's time to invest in themselves, they don't got the funds because their stats are low in saving money. That requires sacrifice. Again, just because you are low in saving money, okay, fine. The sob story, that only can go so far. What are you going to do next? Are you going to sacrifice and improve your ability to save money? All right. So stat number 3, sales, selling yourself. How well are you at with selling yourself? Again, we got a team together. We're going to go out and take over. We got to take action. We got to make things happen. We got to achieve the goal. It's like going out with your friend, your friends to, eat at a fancy restaurant. Y'all all want to have a good time, but one of your friends, they don't have no money, but they want to hang out too. You'd be like, I'm tired of I have to keep, get yourself together. Why I got to keep, this is the stats. How well are you with selling yourself? Don't expect to just show up and give a sob story about why you aren't good at selling yourself. What are you doing? What are you sacrificing behind the scenes to prepare yourself? Stat number 4, self-deployment. I didn't call it self-employment. I call it self-deployment. Will you deploy yourself without anybody asking you to do it? Do I have to wake up in the morning? Do I have to tell you? Do you have to wake up in the morning and I have to remind you that you have to deploy? You have to put up a post. You have to communicate to your prospect. Self-deployment. How well are you with this? How much are you going to invest in yourself outside of these trainings to improve your stats in self-deployment? Stat number 5, social influence. Look, just because you social don't mean, just because a person is social don't mean they're a social influencer. When you walk into the room, Do people listen to you? When you come up with an idea or a suggestion, do people go, you know what, that's a good idea, that's a good suggestion? Just because a person's social don't mean they're a social influencer. So that's a stat that needs to be invested in. You have to work on. You have to sacrifice. I don't know. Listen, don't look at me. Pick up a book. You should be preparing yourself on these things and personal developing yourself so that when it's time for you to climb that ladder of success, you're not lagging behind. You got stability on the ladder. You feel strong. That's step number 5, social influence. You have to work on your ability to learn how to influence and get people to go along with your ideas. Step number 6, you have to pay attention to what you're doing on your spare time. What are you doing with your spare time? Is it Sunday fun day? Is it, okay, well, it's beach day, one day I gotta just relax. What are you doing with your spare time? What is it? Is it between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m.? I like to watch the news. What are you doing with your spare time? You have to use that time to your advantage so that you can build your stats. Stat number 7, study time. Do you put aside study time for yourself? These are all sacrifices that we have to make so that we can improve our self-image. Nothing's going to change unless you change. You have to change first, how you view and see yourself. There's something I really do want to read. Let me see if I can find it really fast. About self-image. This is so powerful. I want to read this. I hope I can find it fast. I'm gonna try for one more. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. All right. All right, not prepared. Okay, so you got to improve your stat about study time. Stat number 8. I talked about this earlier. Stage presence. How much time are you on stage? How much time are you putting into getting yourself on stage? You have to develop and improve this. This is just another stat that you have to work on. If you're at a 2, you have to figure out how you're going to get to a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6. And that takes sacrifice. So if you were on here today and you did not give an A.T.O.M, you missed the opportunity to work on your ability to improve your stats in the department of stage presence. It doesn't stop here. What are you doing outside of here? What are you doing? What are you presenting to the world? How are you on stage so that you can have an audience, so that when it's time for the Navy Team SEAL 6 to say, hey, we got to go out there and we got to produce, we got to make something happen, we could turn to you and say, all right, I need you to handle this on the stage, do this and this and this and this and that. You got to be able to be prepared. You got to have your gear ready. You got to have your ammo. We can't show up to the battlefield and I tell you, hey, you got to take that mound this way so that we can flank them and make sure they don't come and get us from this side. You got to be prepared to take action and go out there and make it happen. You can't be unprepared. You can't have your ammo. You need to show up prepared. Stat number 9, are you aware of your strengths and working on your strength development? You already got strengths. What are you doing to improve your strengths? What sacrifices are you making to take your strengths to even the next level? Again, remember, you can't just always stay in survival mode. You got to go back to the story mode. You got to go back to story mode, and you got to go through the struggles. You got to go through the ups and downs so you can improve your abilities and get stronger, increase your stats. And stat number 10, turning your struggles into successes. How well are you with this? How much time have you invested in turning your struggle into successes? Are you the type of person that says, oh, it's too hard, so I'm just going to quit? Or have you sacrificed time to improving yourself so that you can turn more of your struggles into successes, and then you can actually have a story to tell others about how you've turned a struggle into success? So these are the 10 stats that we must sacrifice to improving in our own lives. The only way we're going to get to the next level is if we decide to no longer be the same way we were before, and we can't do the same things that we once did. And remember, it's also important to stop complaining, and we got to start being thankful for the current level of problems that we're already dealing with. We got to determine to get up that ladder and take the next step. Because why? There are other dimensions to everything that we're dealing with. There's always another perception to our problems. There's always another way to deal with the conflict. We got to learn how to do all these things. And if we don't break in the process, if we don't quit in the process, if we maintain our motivation in the process, if we learn how to neutralize negativity and controversies in throughout the process, and we learn how to maintain our mindset, we're always going to get to the next level, because there is success at the other side. We got to be thankful for all the books, all the studying, all the training, all the personal development, all the audios, all the Jim Rohn. Be thankful for all our realizations. Be thankful for all our oppositions, because all these things are only just getting us ready for the next level. Our current situation has prepared us for exactly where we are right now and where we need to be right now. All we got to do is just keep taking another step on that ladder of success. Do not give in. Don't give up. Just improve your gratitude and learn to be grateful. All we got to do is take the next step. All right. That concludes the segment. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns that they would like to add before we close? Everybody good?
We good.
We good. Bye, everybody.
Awesome. Okay, as always, continue evolution, know your goal. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks, Corey. See you guys.
Goodbye, everybody.